It was supposed to be just another regular day of filming Love and Hip Hop, with cameras ready to capture the usual shade, rehearsed drama, and forced smiles. But instead of the typical chaos that audiences expect, the set transformed into something no one could have predicted. What happened that day was so raw, so explosive, that production had no choice but to shut everything down. Crew members froze in disbelief as the room filled with tension. In that moment, Mendeecees Harris stood up, his voice slicing through the chatter like a blade, confronting not one but two women who had been stirring drama for weeks here, Gates and Yandy Smith. The build-up to that moment had been simmering quietly, like coals under ash. Whispers circulated behind the scenes, cryptic Instagram captions, subtle digs during confessionals, and even off-camera gossip that refused to die. Everyone knew something was coming, but no one thought it would explode on set with this kind of fire. Some crew members later admitted that security had been given quiet warnings. Others claimed no one saw it coming at all, but when it finally happened, the cameras captured every second the words. The energy, the eruption that left producers scrambling and the cast questioning everything. Why did Mendeecees, the man fans had always seen as calm and level-headed, suddenly break character and let his emotions out in front of everyone? And why were Sierra and Yandy the ones who triggered the storm? This wasn't just another scene, this was the kind of clash that threatened to shift the entire narrative of the show. For years, Mendeecees had been seen as one of the more grounded cast members. Even after his legal battles and prison time, his storyline often focused on redemption, rebuilding, and protecting his family. Fans respected him because he rarely lost his cool on camera, always presenting himself as the rock for Yandy, but behind the polished image, pressure had been mounting. He had grown tired of subtle jabs at his household and whispers about his marriage. Still, nobody expected him to let that frustration spill out on film. On the opposite side, Sierra had always thrived in chaos. From the moment she stepped onto the franchise, she became a magnet for feuds, arguments about loyalty, accusations of betrayal, messy relationships. Some even accused her of purposely leaning into conflict because she knew it guaranteed screen time. And lately, her target had shifted directly toward Yandy. Subtle shade, comments about her not being as perfect as she pretends, and cryptic posts had become Sierra's weapons. Then there was Yandy Smith, who always positioned herself as the composed queen of the brand. A woman who built her reputation on strength, business savvy, and the image of an unshakable wife and mother. But cracks had started showing. The more her name was tied to rumors, friendship betrayals, alleged secrets, or power plays, the harder it became to maintain her flawless narrative. Sierra's constant digs only added fuel to the fire. The first domino had fallen at last. Season's reunion, when Sierra accused Yandy of being fake. She acts like a saint on camera, but moves shady behind it. She snapped. It seemed like a throwaway jab at the time, but those words stuck. According to insiders, Yandy never forgot the insult. Mendeecees, too, began hinting that he didn't appreciate the way people were disrespecting his wife. But still, he kept his cool until recently. Social media had also played its role. Sierra posted a cryptic caption, "People hiding behind fake family images always get exposed." She didn't tag anyone, but fans instantly flooded her comments, tagging Yandy, and when Yandy fired back with a picture of her family captioned "Real love, real loyalty, no filters," everyone knew shots had been fired. The tension was now undeniable, but producers saw opportunity in this. Love and Hip Hop thrives on drama, and according to one crew member, producers intentionally placed Mendeecees, Sierra, and Yandy in the same filming environments. They knew sparks could fly. They even encouraged conversations that poked at old wounds. For weeks, the energy on set was like standing outside before a storm, waiting for lightning to strike. By the time filming reached the now infamous day, the air was heavy with tension. Sierra had been telling castmates she wasn't afraid to expose the truth, while Yandy focused on keeping her polished image. But Mendeecees was growing more protective than ever. Fans often say he doesn't like to see Yandy in pain. And when he sensed her breaking under Sierra's constant pokes, something in him finally snapped. It wasn't just about one argument. This was months of pent-up frustration, layered insults, and wounded pride colliding at once. Sierra had something to prove. Yandy had something to protect. And Mendeecees had a line he refused to let anyone cross. The weeks leading up to that moment were gasoline poured onto an already burning fire. Sierra's social media posts grew sharper. She allegedly told a castmate, "Yandy's got everyone fooled, but I've seen things." If she keeps poking at me, I'll put it all out there. That statement spread fast, reaching Yandy, who confided to a close friend late at night, "Why is she obsessed with me? She wants to destroy me." Yandy tried to maintain her usual calm in public, posting motivational content and family photos. But insiders said behind closed doors, she was furious. Meanwhile, Sierra doubled down, dropping another selfie with the caption, "The truth always comes out." Y'all keep watching. Fans went wild in the comments, convinced she was hinting at exposing Yandy. Blogs picked it up. Producers noticed the buzz, and instead of cooling it down, they pushed for more interactions between the two women. Then came the dinner scene. Cast members gathered for what was supposed to be a lighthearted night. Drinks flowed, jokes bounced across the table, until someone brought up the topic of loyalty. Sierra's eyes locked on Yandy. With a smirk, she said, "Funny how some people preach loyalty but move real different when the cameras are off." The room froze. Yandy asked calmly, "Are you talking about me?" Sierra smirked again. If the shoe fits. The tension was undeniable. Mendeecees, sitting nearby, stiffened but stayed silent for now. Fans who later saw leaked snippets replayed the moment endlessly. Some believed Sierra was bluffing. Others were convinced she had real receipts. Hashtags like #TeamYandy and #TeamSierra trended side by side. Off camera, the battle grew nastier. Sierra told others she wasn't scared of Yandy or Mendeecees. "They think they run this show, but I'll say what everyone else whispers." That comment reached Mendeecees, and insiders said his patience started to crack. A gossip blog then posted an article hinting that a love and hip-hop couple was hiding dark secrets. It didn't name names, but the comments section pointed to Yandy. To make matters worse, Sierra liked the post. Fans saw it as her way of adding fuel. Yandy clapped back with a tweet, "People use your name for clout, because their own don't ring bells." That same night, Mendeecees tweeted, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth. Period." The internet exploded. The cast itself began dividing. Some defended Sierra, saying Yandy was too controlling. Others stood by Yandy, calling Sierra desperate for relevance. Every new scene filmed turned into a minefield of side-eyes and jabs. Meanwhile, Mendeecees started stepping in more, defending Yandy openly, even warning Sierra, "You don't want to play with my family, trust me." The energy on set was different now. Fans watching clips online could feel it. Memes of Mendeecees' stone-cold face circulated. Podcasts dissected every exchange. Bloggers debated whether Sierra was bluffing or sitting on dangerous truths. Then came the moment that truly lit the fuse. During another group shoot, Sierra made a below-the-belt comment about Yandy, one tied to whispers that had never been spoken aloud on camera. The details were hazy, but those present said the remark crossed a line. Yandy's composure shattered. Her eyes filled with rage, her voice rising. Mendeecees whispered something to her, but his own jaw was tight with fury. Everyone knew the blow-up was coming. The day of the final confrontation started like any other. Cameras were set, lights adjusted, and producers encouraged the cast to clear the air. But even crew members muttered, "Something's about to pop." Sierra entered first, heels clicking like warning shots. She sat with her phone in hand, smirk on her face. Yandy walked in next, composed but cold. Moments later, Mendeecees joined, silent but radiating energy. He sat beside his wife, elbows forward, watching. The conversation began lightly, but when producers asked about recent tensions, Sierra smirked and said, "People love pretending everything's perfect for the cameras. But we all know the truth." Yandy's voice stayed calm but heavy. "If you've got something to say, say it. Say it." Sierra leaned forward, venom in her tone. Everybody thinks Yandy is this saint-perfect wife, perfect mom, perfect boss. But what they don't see is how she manipulates every situation. She plays the victim while stabbing people in the back. "And I'm done pretending." Gasps echoed. The room froze. Mendeecees' jaw clenched. He leaned forward, voice firm. "Watch your mouth. Don't talk about my wife like that." Sierra laughed mockingly. "Oh, here we go, the protector. Maybe if you knew half the things I know, you wouldn't be so quick to defend her." The cast shifted in shock. Crew members held their breath. Security inched closer. Yandy's eyes flared, her voice breaking for the first time. "What you're not going to do is disrespect my family. You're chasing clout, Sierra. That's all this is." But Sierra shot back, standing up now. "Clout, please. I've been holding receipts for months, and everybody's about to find out who you really are." Phones went up discreetly under tables. Producers whispered nervously but didn't cut. Mendeecees rose to his feet, his voice thunderous. "Keep my wife's name out your mouth, or I swear." Security rushed in. But Sierra leaned nose to nose with him, smirking. "What are you going to do? Yell louder. That just proves I hit a nerve." The silence that followed was suffocating. Yandy stood, pointing furiously. "You're jealous, bitter, making up stories because your storyline is dry." The room descended into chaos. Cast members shouted, crew scrambled, and security pushed forward. Mendeecees jabbed his finger toward Sierra, roaring, "You're trying to break up families. For attention. You're disgusting." Sierra's smirk widened. "If the truth breaks your family, maybe it wasn't strong to begin with." That was the line that shattered everything. Yandy lunged, restrained only by a castmate. Mendeecees pushed past security, inches from Sierra's face. "Say it again. Say one more thing about my wife, and see what happens." Cameras zoomed in. Drinks spilled, chairs screeched, castmates screamed. Producers yelled to cut the cameras, but operators hesitated, capturing every raw second. In that moment, Love and Hip Hop wasn't reality TV anymore. It was reality, and it was spiraling out of control. The cameras had finally been cut. But the tension still crackled in the air, like static electricity refusing to fade. Crew members whispered into headsets, trying to restore order, while security held back Mendeecees Harris and kept Sierra Gates at a distance. Drinks were spilled across the floor, a boom mic lay shattered. And the set that was meant to capture controlled chaos had become something dangerously real. In one corner, Yandy Smith broke down completely. Her hands trembled as she tried to steady her phone, tears streaming down her cheeks. She kept repeating the same phrase over and over. "She's trying to destroy my family. She wants to ruin me." Two close friends from the cast circled around her, whispering reassurances. But even their voices couldn't drown out the storm raging inside her. Meanwhile, across the room, Sierra leaned back in her chair with a smug smirk on her face. Her makeup was smeared, her hair messy from the chaos. But she didn't care. To her, this was victory. She held her phone up and typed furiously, already drafting cryptic tweets that she knew would ignite the internet. To Sierra, every second of this confrontation was leverage. Every word exchanged, every glare, every near explosion was fuel for her brand. But to those around her, it wasn't entertaining anymore. A stylist whispered, "She went too far." Another crew member shook his head. "This isn't TV drama anymore. This is personal." By the time security escorted Mendeecees outside, he was pacing back and forth like a caged lion. His fists were tight, his jaw clenched, and his chest rose and fell with each heavy breath. A security guard tried to calm him, but Mendeecees muttered through his teeth, "She's dragging my wife's name through the mud. I won't let her do that." His rage wasn't just for the cameras. It was real, boiling, and uncontrollable. Moments later, Yandy emerged, cheeks still streaked with tears. Her voice was soft but desperate. "Mendeecees, please stop. They already think this is real." For the briefest second, his expression softened as he looked at her, but then the storm returned. "They need to stop playing with your name. I can't let it slide," he snapped. Back inside, Sierra wasted no time. She went live on Instagram before the dust had even settled. Sitting in her corner, hair disheveled, she laughed sarcastically into her camera. "Funny how some people can't handle the truth. Y'all saw what happened. And I didn't even say half of what I know. If they want to come for me again, trust me, I've got receipts." Within minutes, thousands tuned in. The comments section flooded with fire emojis, shocked reactions, and demands for proof. Some fans cheered her bravery, while others dragged her for crossing the line. "Drop the receipts, sis," one viewer wrote. Another scolded, "You're attacking families now. This ain't it." Meanwhile, Yandy sat in the back of her car with Mendeecees, scrolling through her phone. Shaky clips of the fight had already leaked online. One video, captioned "Mendeecees loses it on Sierra," had gone viral within minutes. Another trending hashtag read, #LoveandHipHop shut down. Even her children were texting her, scared and confused after seeing their mother screaming on camera. That was the breaking point for Yandy. "It's one thing to come for me," she muttered, clutching her phone, "but don't you dare drag my kids into this." The producers scrambled. In a corner office, the showrunner slammed his hand on the table. "We can't let this air. It's too much. Legal will bury us." Another producer shot back, "Are you kidding? This is ratings gold. We've never had this much buzz before an episode even aired. The debate grew louder. Some wanted to protect their cast. Others wanted to protect the franchise. But one thing was certain: the footage was out, and there was no way to stop it. By morning, blogs were on fire. Headlines screamed, "Production stops after explosive Mendeecees meltdown." Another wrote, "Sierra claims Yandy's hiding secrets." Fan pages dissected clips frame by frame, zooming in on expressions, lip-reading arguments, and speculating about what Sierra had meant when she said she had receipts. Public opinion split down the middle. Yandy supporters filled her comments with love. "We know you, Yandy. Don't let her lies shake you." Others weren't as forgiving. "Why so defensive if it's not true?" Sierra's fans encouraged her to go further, drop the screenshots, expose her. The scandal spread beyond the show. Brands tied to Yandy and Mendeecees began emailing their management, worried about optics. One message read, "If these rumors don't die down, we may need to reconsider our partnership." Behind closed doors, Mendeecees admitted to friends that he felt trapped. "No matter what I say, they'll twist it against me," he confided. He believed Sierra had baited him, set him up to lose his temper so she could control the narrative. Yandy, meanwhile, was terrified that her carefully built reputation was crumbling. She had spent years portraying herself as strong, professional, and above the mess. Now she was trending as the woman with secrets. Sierra, however, basked in the chaos. Her follower count skyrocketed. Blogs begged her for interviews. She fed into it with cryptic captions. "Lies always come to light. I said what I said." For her, this wasn't just drama. This was strategy. She wasn't just a supporting player anymore, she was commanding the spotlight. The rest of the cast was shaken. Rashida confided quietly to a crew member, "I've been on this show a long time, and I've never seen it go this far. Families are getting dragged. That's dangerous territory." Another castmate whispered, "If this makes it to air, someone's career is over." But fans weren't just watching. They were dissecting, speculating, and demanding more. Podcasts debated whether Sierra was bluffing or sitting on real evidence. YouTubers broke down every frame of the leaked video. Gossip forums flooded with theories about Yandy's alleged secret life. Then came the twist no one expected. A blurry screenshot began circulating online, allegedly from a private cast group chat. The message read, "It's time to bring down the empire." And, next to it, Sierra's name was tagged. Instantly, fans speculated that she wasn't acting alone. Was there an alliance forming to take down Yandy and Mendeecees? If so, who else was involved? Social media became a battlefield. One fan tweeted, "This is bigger than Sierra versus Yandy. This looks like a setup." Another clapped back, "Nah, Sierra's just playing victim. She wants her own spin-off." Behind the scenes, producers were panicking. A leaked email revealed executives were considering strict new rules. Heavier security, tighter contracts, PR approval for social media posts. Some fans were outraged. If they start censoring, the show won't even feel real anymore. Others said it was the only way to stop things from spiraling. And then, as if things weren't messy enough, someone from Yandy's past resurfaced online, posting cryptic messages suggesting Sierra wasn't lying. They provided no proof, but the hints alone were enough to send blogs into a frenzy. Headlines screamed, "What is Yandy hiding?" Exhausted and furious, Yandy clapped back on Instagram stories, "Dangerous lies. Nothing more. I will never let anyone destroy my family." But her polished mask was slipping. Fans noticed her anger, her cracks, her vulnerability,